it's Linslow here. Thanks for stopping by the channel and building with me today. I am excited about this one because we're building in Tartosa. This is the world that we got with wedding stories, or my wedding stories, and I am excited. It's probably my first build in this world, honestly, and I thought it would be perfect to build a bed and breakfast because whenever I think of bed and breakfast, I think of like really romantic, very calming, definitely for like couples or, solo vacations. And this is the perfect one for it. Let me give you some perspective of what is around here. I know you saw that little trailer I put together in the beginning, but there are 4 bedroom suites here. So every one of the bedrooms has a bathroom. And outside of that, there are 3 additional half baths, one on the first level, one on the second level, I think. No, it's either on the second or the third level. So there's 3 levels in here, 2 bedrooms on the second level, 2 bedrooms on the third level. And there is a massage area, very calming. There is a wedding kind of placement thing out there, like you can get married here at this bed and breakfast. There is a lot of lounging areas around here. I really love the way that this looks. I love the entire feel of it. I felt like I was just leaning towards bed and breakfast because lately you don't really hear about a lot of bed and breakfasts, and I really love looking at them. Just like whenever they're talked about in TV shows and movies and stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go to a bed and breakfast. So the closest thing that I'm going to be going to a bed and breakfast is building one in The Sims 4 and playing with it in The Sims 4. So what better way to do that than to just go ahead and do it for the channel. So I really hope you enjoy this build and grab everything you need. We are literally almost done with constructing the outside of this, but let's get into it. So my entire thought process with doing this was a little bit different than the ones that I've done before, the builds that I've done before, because I struggled a lot with the bedrooms. I don't know why these seemed a little bit iffy. Like I was having so much trouble figuring out the floor plan, what all I should put in there. And I think it's really just because I couldn't tailor this to a particular family. It really just had to go with the theme of, this bed and breakfast as a whole. And outside, it's very light and airy. Like the exterior of this home or this bed and breakfast is very light and airy. And I wanted that to translate into most of the bedrooms, but I felt like I needed to have specific color schemes and everything. And we'll talk about those more specifically once we get into building those bedrooms. But the downstairs I love. There is a kitchen, there is an office space, there's a little entryway going to the backyard, there's a dining space that you can see I'm putting in right now, and there is some coolers. I think we got those coolers with Get to Work, so I do end up adding those in there. And then we have the 2 half baths. So I do end up keeping with a tradition on my building methods and having to lay everything out before I actually start furnishing the way that I want it to. So I do end up doing that here, but then again, it's like, that's just a me thing, and I've grown to appreciate it. I wanted to add as much decorations, as much personality to this as I could, mostly because I know, like many builds that I do put a lot of decoration in, and the only thing is that this is more so a commercial lot. So when I went into decorating and furnishing and everything, I really had to look at this from the standpoint of a commercial lot, even though in the game and in the gallery this is actually shown as a rental lot so that your Sims can stay there for multiple days. And the idea is that, you could add people to make food and then bring it out to that cooler out there and things like that. I mean, you'll have to pay for more. And when I was playtesting this entire thing, it looks like it's like $1,000 or 1,000 simoleons a day to stay at this Airbnb. But then again, it's like if you are playing with multiple families, because it has 4 bedrooms, so you could play with 4 couples, you could just have them, add all their money in. I don't know how we would do that in the game, but as far as like storytelling purposes, I felt like this was a great way of implementing that. And the thought of like playing with my Sims and allowing them to go to a bed and breakfast, like that just seems like a really cool staycation if they live in Tartosa, or anywhere else. So I really enjoyed doing this. So the things in the office, I ended up using the desk that we got with Get to Work, as well as a few other things from Get to Work as well, mostly because like that needed to be very official. Like it is a bed and breakfast and everything, but this is sort of like a business. So we need to have files there, we need to have keys and everything. And I felt like that office space, and then with the contrast of over here is very like homey, very cozy, and I felt like it was very important for me to have that cozy aspect here because it's a bed and breakfast. I mean, like, it's a bed and breakfast, so it's like it needs to be very cozy, it needs to be very homey, like they need to feel like they can fall asleep in a place like this. And if it's all very official, very like luxe, but not very practical, I really don't think I would want to stay at a bed and breakfast that's labeled as that, but only if there is no like marketing strategy for it. So if it just says like it's a bed and breakfast, and then I get there and it's like very luxurious, very like glass, black and white, sleek, I would be like a little bit off, because whenever I think of bed and breakfast, I think of cozy, homey, like, you know, very comfy vibes. And that doesn't give me, like, don't get me wrong, I love luxe, I love luxury, I love all of that. But if I'm thinking from a bed and breakfast perspective, I don't think of luxe and everything. So it would be like, I don't know. And I really just made this bed and breakfast lot, or this rental lot, and how I envision bed and breakfast. I wonder how many times I'm going to say bed and breakfast. So this is definitely around the point where I start to hit a hiccup in most of the decoration ideas that I had at first. And so I end up going around thinking, what could I put where? And so I end up gravitating into working with the bathrooms. So the first bathroom that I end up looking at is one that ends up having a green color scheme. And in this bathroom, it is a bit older, but we have a double vanity. We have that tub shower combo, and it's more of a brown green vibe in there, and that stays throughout the entire build. So that is the first one that kind of stays where it is after I did it the first time. This one, on the other hand, this bathroom is adjacent to the bedroom that has a yellow and lighter wood tones color scheme. And as you can see, I start off going with, you know, this black tub. We have that black and dark brown vanity area. And so I do end up changing the color schemes of that and changing it around because it doesn't fit that bathroom, but it does end up staying with all of the hardware and everything that's there. It's just a color scheme change. So this bathroom, on the other hand, is for another one of our green bedrooms, but it is more regal, and that's where I end up using those curtains. It is the more basic bathroom, but I love the way that this is very simple and clean. And so we're moving into the last bathroom for these bedrooms, and this one is more elaborate. I definitely went all out. This one has, you know, 3 countertops with a double vanity, and it has like a lot of built-ins. There's no shower in this one, but we have that massive tub, and there is a seating area. Well, not really an area, just a chair and a lamp, and it just allows for a lot of storage and just making this very serene area, and I really enjoyed that. I wanted to use those sunflowers, so I do end up using that, and I wanted a hutch somewhere in this. I do end up adding it there for the remaining of this video, but then at the end I end up changing it out for a screen that has the same kind of flowers that you see on that end table, which I thought was perfect. As soon as I saw the screen with those flowers, I was like, that's how you tie the entire room together, and I had to use it. So I do end up doing that, and this is where I added in some of the flooring because I felt like all of the bedrooms needed to have carpet because it gives that homey feel, and I wanted to keep going with that. And so we move up into that bedroom, and this bedroom ends up being green. So I like that, but I definitely wanted to use this red and gray color scheme because it kind of matched with that bed. But in the end, I remembered, like, I've seen so many videos saying red shouldn't be, in a bedroom, but I felt like this could have worked. This definitely could have worked, but the green just kind of made sense. And as you can see, like, I'm not even done with that bedroom, but I jumped to the next one because I started getting confused. Like, I don't know why, but building these bedrooms, oh, I actually do know why, but building these bedrooms definitely was a bit of a challenge because I couldn't add a lot of personality. I couldn't add a lot of decorations because it wasn't for someone who actually lives in this lot. It's a rental lot, so I can't make it very personalized, and so that made it a little bit difficult. But after a while, I went back to it and I was able to implement a lot of cool things that I am showing you now. So I had to use those curtains, and those are the curtains that we got with my wedding stories, and I use it a lot, but I love it in this one because it just kind of flows. Like, you can see we have a lot of lighter wood tones throughout this entire thing, and then pairing that with the yellow, it just like makes it very seamless and very calming. And that's what I love about that bedroom. If I had to choose a bedroom to stay in, it would probably be that one. And I am a little bit biased because I love that bed. I love, the entire vibe of this. I do end up adding a bookshelf, a little table area, and everything. And so it just looks very inviting to me. So I absolutely love this. And then they have that area where you can walk outside and you can just lounge, and then I have a table there too so they can eat breakfast up there. Like, those curtains that I added really give off that soft feel. But now we're into this bedroom, and this one has that big elaborate bathroom, and so the color scheme in here is a dark blue and a more of like a mocha wood tone. I apologize for jumping around everywhere, but like I said, it was a little bit difficult because this wasn't for a specific family. So I do go back down, and this is where I change that color to green, and I end up going for a darker wood tone all around. This one is unique to the other bedrooms because this actually includes a fireplace, and I love that. And there's chairs surrounding it. There is a lot of storage here because we have that dresser there, and then there's 2 end tables, and that little basket just in case they decide to go out on their small balcony and sit and eat and have a very chill time. And then I go back into this one. This one is the yellow and light woods, and so for here I add in a little table over in the corner, a little bit of books there. I end up adding those little picture frames there, and my thought process with that is that you could just add celebrity pictures or people who have stayed a long while who are celebrities, or just landscaping pictures. I feel like any of those would be perfect, but I end up leaving them blank in the screenshots, but also in the build that's on the gallery, just in case you wanted to add your own creativity there and just add in whatever photos you seem to want to have there. So there's that. And then I had a little bit of an issue with this little entryway here or hallway here. I do end up adding 2 ottomans, and then there ends up being a clock there. I felt like I needed to have a clock in this lot, so I do end up adding it on that stairway. And then up on the next one, there are 2 chairs and a little end table, and that's the one where we have those balconies in the front of this build. So this bedroom, on the other hand, is for the bathroom that has the more basic feel. We have that one shower, we have the beautiful curtains, and it is, a little bit on the smaller side compared to the other bathrooms. But I love this one. It ends up being a blue-green combination with a brown wood tone, and I like this because I end up using that dresser that we got from, I think it's Cottage Living, and then there's another dresser in the entryway along with some robes and a mirror. And I like this one because this is the bathroom and bedroom that really gravitates to what we see on that first level. Like, this matches that entire vibe to me, mostly because of the color scheme, but also because the entire feel. Like, that rug alone transports me back to that first level where we have a bunch of knickknacks, we have a bunch of things around there that really just scream, bed and breakfast to me. So I definitely enjoyed building that, and so I end up going back down. And so I love these bathrooms because this blue speaks to me, but also it is more of an updated take on the bathrooms. I could have used a lot of different things there, but I wanted it to be a little bit more regal, which does speak a little bit differently to what we see on the outside of here, but I do think it follows the theme, and that's genuinely what I was going for. But now that we're back down here, I had to add those knickknacks that I was just talking about. And so it's a bunch of things here. And I liked adding all of these things because it makes it look like this bed and breakfast has been around for a while. And I like that aspect of this. But then also adding in, those puzzles and board games. So if they want to stay down here and not be in their suite, they can just play board games down here or outside enjoying the weather and everything. And that's what I enjoyed about doing that. And then I go back into this kitchen, which to me, like I said, this is a commercial kitchen, so I needed it to be a lot of stuff around. So I add in that tea set, top of the line oven and refrigerator, as well as 2 sinks. Like, this is a very spacious kitchen, and I feel like it's perfect for this idea of a bed and breakfast in The Sims 4. And so from there, I end up going out here, and this is where we have the little wedding venue kind of thing. I made that entryway a little bit smaller because I needed some more area for seating outside. And again, I do go back inside just to add a few more things while I was thinking about it, but then I go back outside and add these chairs here. And so this venue, like, this is not a wedding venue in The Sims 4. This is a rental venue, but if you want to have, a wedding ceremony, an impromptu wedding ceremony out here, you can. And that's really what my logic was with building this. So we have that, and then just a little table there. We have the little greeting card, the massive greeting card, and then there are some things out there where you can actually add, maybe some food or drinks or something similar to that. So I wanted to add those there, and I really love the idea of having that little wedding area down there. And then this is where I end up working with the patio that's adjacent to that yellow and yellow wood tone bedroom, and I love the way that looks. But then I go back outside, and I'm working on the outside here, and I add in these lounge chairs with a little hidden thing here, and I do end up changing that out, so it ends up being something that I got from Debug and not that overhanging shade area. But then I love overgrown kind of space in any lot, so I do end up adding that here. I wanted to use some shrubbery sculptures, but I do end up changing those out, and I do think I only use one and I don't use as many as I thought I would. But then I realized I need to add trees somewhere in here, and so I do end up adding some trees there. I do end up changing out the chairs that I want to use here and adding them around the fountain, and I add some fireflies around because at night I felt like it would just be so beautiful to have fireflies around and just enjoy this mood. I feel like this is like something that I would look at straight out of a jazz music video or something, but like an older jazz, something like Moonlight in Vermont by Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald. I'm a big jazz person, and so whenever I thought about that, I was like, this could definitely be something that I could think of hearing when I'm looking at this build and listening to something, because this is just amazing for that kind of story gameplay, and I love that. I did have a little bit of problems with thinking at what this could look like on the outside because I was really just looking on the inside so much, but I did end up wanting to have, a base layer of rock or cement or something, and then having the top layer be paneling. So that's what I end up going for, and I didn't want to tone it down. I didn't want it to be very dark because that would be opposed to what we see in this gate. So I needed something light and airy, but also something very colorful. And I love like the front of this build, but I absolutely love the back. Like having that little area back there that is very curved. It reminds me of like more of a circular kind of thing, but it's not circular at all. And that's really what I love about that. I know I say I love every part of this build, and a part of me really does. Like I love every part of this build, and I think it's because I made it. But now that the brunt of this build is basically done, I'm just going in and finding some things that I could add, things that I might be able to change and would make sense with how I envision this bed and breakfast in my head. Now, it does get a little bit rocky because I was like, where can I put these things? I've probably already used these things. And I was sitting there like, I could use some new content, but then I realized I haven't bought an essential pack, and I'm waiting to do that for multiple reasons, but we can get into that in the next video. But I like that, I included all of these different aspects. You know, there's that little wedding bench downstairs, there's a masseuse area, there's place for reading, place for enjoying the partner that you bring to this bed and breakfast, and everything. Like, I just feel like it's just a really serene place. And although this is a rental lot in The Sims 4 and everything, I definitely feel like this is more of a commercial lot. And I wish we had, you know, a lot type for this kind of things, similar to like hotels and everything, but not necessarily a rental lot, because I want there to be staff working. But it's like, if I don't see it, I could probably build it myself. And I was thinking about creating a mod, or trying to create mod. If you don't know, I did go to school for cybersecurity, so I do know how to do, you know, like web development in general, but more specifically cybersecurity stuff. But I was thinking about creating mods, back to my point, and I just don't know if that's something that I really want to do, because I love building and I love playing The Sims, and I don't want it to feel like a job, you know? But I am curious, and I do want to make a mod similar to like bed and breakfast or hotels or motels or something similar to that, in terms of what that would look like in terms of like staff and lot types and stuff like that. I would have to figure that out. But if you want to be on the process, let me know in the comments, because I would be down to, you know, making videos about it and trying to see how to create it and what that process would look like for me as a person who's like just starting out with it. So let me know if that's something that you would want to be interested in looking into. But we are nearing the end of this video, where you'll get some screenshots and a bonus video of the surrounding of this entire build. I'm so happy you stayed around and built this with me. I literally couldn't have done it without you. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, but also click the notification bell. That way you can be notified whenever I post new videos. And I try to post very often. If you enjoyed this video, and also, you know, me talking about the video, let me know in the comments, but also let me know if you have any suggestions on things you'd like me to build moving forward. I literally read them all. And with that, let's get into these screenshots, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you in the next video. Bye.